We don't know anything. I'm only at this point, like, it just fulfills all of my super base desires, which is, like, all of the men in this show are attractive.
They are. I know.
It's all about eye candy. So it's like, cool. Are you going to give me a story too? Also nice. I can be surprised.
Yeah, that was something that I was thinking about after. I was like, oh man, this is going to be tough to concentrate because you got Sebastian Stan, you got Anthony Mackie, and you got Daniel freaking Bruhl. Ooh.
Right? Ugh.
Yeah.
Just like international treasure.
Yeah. Well, two of them actually. Sebastian Stan is from Romania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he lived most of his life in America, but he is technically European.
Well, shoot. I love it.
Who knew that? Yeah.
She's a research queen.
It's me.
Okay, cool. Speaking of queens, are you caught up on UK and regular?
Yes, and I am gagged by both. I really thought Ellie Diamond should have gone home first of all.
Yeah.
But also Tace is awesome. She's an awesome lip syncer, but that was her fourth lip sync, which I was like, ooh, I don't think any queen has ever survived 4 lip syncs, but I definitely think she should have won the lip sync, but I don't think Tace should win the entire competition just based off her poor track record. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was gagged by Denali though. Oh.
Going home?
Gagged. I had a gut feeling though something was going to happen to Denali. Like I thought she was super talented, but I'm like, they're sleeping on her a lot, and I think the song they chose played to Olivia's strengths, and so I technically think Olivia did a better job at the lip sync.
Yeah.
But I also think Denali's a better drag queen.
Me too. I like Olivia, but I don't think that she should have stayed over Denali. Denali, I feel like, is just like people were sleeping on her, but she's also sometimes like sleeping on herself. Maybe.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, she slept on herself a little bit, as does Utica. But I'm glad Utica and Simone came through this week.
I almost fucking died when I saw the Utica look that Simone was wearing. My skin started to peel back. I was like,
yeah, that was great. And even the runway walk that Simone was doing, and I'm telling you, Simone is easily top 3. Easily.
Oh yeah. And then when freaking Utica comes out in the Simone look, and it's like, see, bitch? See? You don't always have to be pulling faces. You're gorgeous.
She was fierce on that runway. I was living for it.
Yeah. My heart was beating. I felt like a proud mama. It was so fun. And I like how the black cast was helping to sort of validate especially after the whole Bob Ross afro thing.
Yeah.
They're like, if it comes from a place of love, it's not like you're doing Simone's look, the hairstyle. Yeah, and she's bringing Utica into her drag, so it's different when someone's inviting you into that space. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like Simone was saying, this is okay. This isn't appropriation, and so I think that's the thing that I think they maybe should have touched on more is Simone brought Utica into that. It's no, come and let me show you my my culture, and let me show you my drag. So I think in that sense, Utica being dressed by Simone is respectful because Simone is the one that is, not calling the shots, but, inviting her into that space. Yeah. And that's what is meant by saying, do the work. It's this is the work that is visibly needed to be done before you do stuff. That you can be called out on. If someone clocks your look, you can be like, well, here's the thing. Here's the tea, sis. It's very visibly, not everyone's going to get and that's another thing. Not everyone's going to get the chance to show the work and the research on a television show. So this is one of those rare cases where it's like, sure, go ahead and do it. Because the platform that you're on is allowing you to do it in a respectful way. But like, don't just do it because you think it's okay. It is a caricature when you're going out for Halloween at a party, and it just doesn't matter. It's like, if you even have black friends to ask, just don't. If you have to ask, just don't fucking do it.
Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb too. Like if you think it might be crossing the line, maybe it is, you know. But I'm you know, without making it too much about Utica, who is white, I do think it's nice that she, you know, really, you know, went to her black cast members and was like, yeah, let's talk this out, you know, and make sure that it's done respectfully. Because it's something that could have really gone south, but I think everybody did a good job and kind of, you know, handling it.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm one. So I'm not surprised. I like that they did this whole like, because they couldn't invite like men in their family to participate in drag. Like they couldn't do what they usually do, like make over like a YouTube celebrity or whatever, and they like made over each other to be their drag sisters. I thought it was really fun that they did that, but also something that Rose said, which I didn't consider when they did this. She's like, I am not going home in
dressed like Tina Burner.
Dressed like Tina Burner, not in my drag, and then not sure as hell not lip syncing in this.
Ooh.
And I'm like, dude, that makeup is clockable.
That was a hard boot. Like, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too critical of them because they're all talented, but I don't think Tina should be there over Denali. Neither should Candy. I think they should have left by now, or not left by now, but I mean Denali shouldn't have left is what I'm trying to get at.
I 100% agree with you. I think I can't tell at this point if it's editing or not, or if it really truly is like an attitude issue, but Candy has an attitude.
Oh my god, her in the where we had to choose who to send home, her clapback was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, get over it. Everybody has to choose someone.
Yeah, and you knew this was coming. You eventually know that this is part of the competition. And she just like couldn't take, she could dish it, sure. She could always dish it. But she can never fucking take it. And that's what sort of annoys me a little bit about her.
We said literally the exact same words. She can dish it, but she can't take it. We said the exact same thing on Friday.
Yeah. You literally. And Jason?
Yeah.
Oh. That is, and Wilbur probably thought the same thing.
Wilbur always agrees because agreeing gets him treats. So
it's like that Candy Muse. I don't like her, Dad.
Yeah. Well, we give him more of a Midwestern accent actually when he talks. It's Dad.
Oh yeah, he is a Midwestern dog.
He's a Midwestern pup. So
he's a Michigander.
Yeah, he's a Michigander, so it's Dad.
He was born in Michigan, right?
I don't know, actually. I assume so. Jason didn't get him till Wilbur was 7. So, you know, he's... Oh. Yeah, Wilbur's old. He's almost 11.
Origins unknown.
Origins, I assume he's from Michigan, but I don't know. Just from his accent.
Oh, so he's like adopted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's been apparently passed around quite a bit. I think we're like his 4th or 5th owners. And he's a great dog. I don't know who would give that dog up.
Right?
He's an excellent dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's too bad. But also, he ended up with like the best family.
I know. But he's got such like separation anxiety problems too now, like abandonment issues. Like he's so used to me being home because I work from home that during the summer I went out on the water for like a long day, like it was 10 hours. And I came home and there was 2 big piles of poop on my bed. Like, you know, like just abandonment issues. Like I was acting out completely. So
oh my God.
He's got some stuff to work through, yeah.
Wilbur Marie.
Yeah, she's got an attitude sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, I find the cats like that too.
Cats totally.
We've been feeding her I convinced my sister and my brother-in-law to feed her wet food. Mm-hmm. And now we've been dialing it back. Because at first they gave her half a can. I was like, guys, that's a lot. Because she gets a full bowl of food, just gets filled every morning. And then we cut it down to a quarter. And then we noticed she was just getting kind of big. I think she's behind. Yeah. She's behind me.
Oh, I can. Oh, yes, I can. How could I miss her?
Yeah, she's just a baby beluga in the deep blue sea.
Oh dear.
So we cut that into another half, and now she just whines all the time on the kitchen floor.
Yeah, because she's used to it.
Oh yeah, she talks loud about it too. Anyway, but she still gets it every day between 5 and 6 when we have our dinner, so she should know. But it's like, I don't know if she can tell time or not, because anytime anyone's in the kitchen and it's like an open concept sort of living room eating kitchen thing, anytime anyone's in the kitchen, she's just there yelling at somebody, whoever's by the stove. It's funny.
Cats, they think they rule the world.
Good. We've been rolling the whole time, right? You've been at least
recording.
On your audio?
Yeah.
Perfect. Welcome to the Full Volume Podcast. My name is Jolie, and as always, I'm joined by...
Hey girl, it's Harvey, Brent.
And today we're just hanging out at home with you. Having a casual Sunday. We were too busy yesterday, both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you know what? We're taking like a much needed break. Our brains, our bodies, after the whirlwind that was WandaVision. That was we needed like an extra day to de-stress. Also, it's daylight savings, like just a lot working against us in our personal lives here. So we come at you with a little bit of a later correspondence, but we're here and we're ready to unpack theories. We're ready to unpack what we clocked, what we didn't clock. Yeah. Are we? I don't even know. Are we discussing the making of feature, or do you want this to mostly be about like unpacking WandaVision? How do you want to? Yeah, let's talk about it, because every series will be capped by an episode of what they're calling Assembled on Disney Plus. So we may as well just go through it.
Sure.
If you want to start.
Well, yeah, I didn't come at it with like a critical mind when I watched it. I watched it this morning. I just kind of watched it as is and didn't really like dissect it. There's not really anything to dissect. Dissect. It's a weird way of saying it. So I, it was just kind of, I was more interested in some of like, the behind the scenes magic, like the fact that they use a lot of practical effects, which was super cool in the 50s and the 60s. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's neat. And then like, kind of just like, they're going through all the different decades, but also when Vision was in black and white, I found that really interesting that they actually painted him blue, because that was the most. Did you know that? Like, because you have a kind of an arts background, so like, is that what, like, they said that like actors back then would wear blue lipstick so they would pick up on the contrast. Did you know that?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
When we study black and white photography or whatever, everything is still color underneath, even though with the advent of color film, it's obvious that different shades, and it's not just like dark blue will pick up or light blue, because white and black exist in all colors. So it really does have to do with the actual color itself, because each color has different levels of pigmentation in it that create the colors that they are. So blue will pick up better than red, or it'll pick up like as a deeper gray or a more rich gray than a red does. Even though they're the same sort of value, or they seemed to be the same value, because there's more pigment that creates a blue color, it'll be a little more fuller.
I didn't even know though that they would have had blue lipstick back in the 50s and 60s. Like that kind of like, I thought about that. I was like, would makeup companies be making blue lipstick? It was probably hard to find.
It was probably in like a special effects kit at that point, and it was probably produced only for film and television and the entertainment industry.
Like you wouldn't be able to go to the Bay and buy it or something. No.
No, I don't think so. I think they had red, dark red, black dress red, and Barbie pink.
Of course. All these highly feminized colors, yes.
Yes. I mean, why would you need any other color? Like, I think Chanel only had reds.
Interesting.
I mean, I'm just guessing.
You're probably not. Yeah, you're probably not far off.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I found that really cool just from like you have more of the arts background. So like you know, some of this probably wasn't a surprise to you, but I thought that was really interesting. And of course, anytime they bring up Catherine Hahn, she's hilarious. And all her behind the scenes and like her long extended cuts of like her laughing, and yeah, she's great. So no, it was a, you know, informative making of. I didn't realize Elizabeth Olsen went to theater school, which was cool. She kind of talked about that a little bit, and she's like, when am I ever going to use this? And turns out she got a really big chance to use this in WandaVision.
Yeah.
And then I think the other thing too that I kind of picked up on that I kind of closed my eyes for a minute and I thought about it was the fact that this was the first Marvel property where the majority, almost all of the fight scenes took place in the air, which I was like, oh, I guess like between Vision, Wanda, Agnes, and White Vision, that they were all in the air. I'm like, I guess that makes sense. Like they, you know, most of them, you know, when you think back to the Avengers films, Captain America, he's landlocked, you know, like Black Widow, you know, all these characters are usually landlocked. It's only Wanda that flies. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Actually, this is the first predominantly aerial climax in a Marvel property.
Yeah. And I loved seeing them all like suspended on harnesses in their costumes, like fully rigged.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then like how you were saying they did all the magic with like practical effects when in one of the first episodes where she makes dinner and all of the recipe cards are flying around, that was all practical. It wasn't special effects. It made my heart sing. It was so awesome.
Well, it felt like such a way to honor that like decade too as well by like actually employing those practical effects. So like it felt authentic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the one thing that I also liked, it sort of I knew that they were doing sitcoms, but I didn't even realize that they were also shooting it sitcom style as well, which means they brought in a live studio audience. Like I knew they were filming it in front of a live studio audience to get the laughter, but I didn't realize that like they were also dressing the live studio audience in the era clothing, and they were watching the show for every single episode up until we get to the point where the television reality stops and reality begins. Like I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah. They actually didn't elaborate on that too much, but I noticed too when they panned to the audience, I was like, oh, those are like, there's polka dot dresses and everything. And I was like, they really wanted to sell the atmosphere.
Yeah. Like I feel like, just in case they like flipped around and showed the audience, like they didn't really need to, but they did.
Yeah.
They did it anyway, just in case. And I really like that small like attention to detail. It was just so crazy. I also thought it was really funny too. Then they went through it the kind of the way that like we went through everything, just like episode by episode, plot point by plot point, and pretty much like the one thing that was kind of that took me back a little bit was their surprise at the reception for WandaVision. Like they were all worried that it wouldn't do well. I have a note about the show, which is another thing that I didn't realize, was that this was supposed to be released after Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Yeah, they were supposed to release Falcon and the Winter Soldier first because it led straight out of the events of Civil War, with the two characters, I should say. Not Civil War, Endgame. So the two characters are together. They aren't necessarily continuing the plot, since the plot is technically over, but the two characters are together, and it's sort of like high octane, high action. I don't want to say high laughs because that's just a speculation at this point.
Right.
Based on the trailer though, maybe high laughs. Low key laughs for now.
But also like high sex appeal.
Yes. Okay. Like, I mean, I wanted to save we will save it for the end. I want to talk about how good looking that cast is, but we can save it.
Yep.
Because we still need to talk about WandaVision.
I know. We need to like one thing at a time. We actually need to finish and unpack WandaVision.
Yeah. Oh, so they also another thing that they didn't like talk too much about was the whole like Evan Peters thing. They were just like, "Oh, this happened, and this is how we did this," but they didn't really. They didn't address any of the fan stuff.
They were very mum on it. Very mum. Like not a single mention of the word X-Men. Not a single mention of the word Fox. I thought that was very suspect. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
You do own them now. You can say that. Like, it was weird.
Yeah, very, very, very. It was almost like the editing was very careful too. You could feel it when it came to that Halloween episode. When it came time to talk about that Halloween episode, something was a little less candid about that stuff.
Yeah, like, I agree.
Talking about it.
I wonder why.
Could it be? And again, I hate to say fan theories, but I will say that I liked that they were excited about the inclusion of Evan Peters.
Yeah.
And I think it's part of it is suspect when they say, well, we brought him in because he played a Quicksilver. Not necessarily.
They didn't even say that, though. They didn't even say that.
They didn't?
No.
Did I hallucinate it? Am I mixing this in with something that I watched?
They didn't even mention that he has previously played Quicksilver. They just said, and we have Evan Peters this time playing Quicksilver. That's all they said.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Okay. Yeah, I don't buy it. I know he's coming back. I don't know. I feel like somewhere else it was confirmed that he would be at least if there is a Quicksilver to be played, that he has committed to the role of Quicksilver.
I could see it going either way at this point. I remember sending you stuff earlier in the week about like there was some rumors he might appear in the next Doctor Strange. I could see it going either way, to be honest. I'm not as like charged about it or fired up anymore, but I'm like, yeah, maybe he was the missing person that Jimmy Woo was looking for. You never saw Evan Peters' passport up on the wall of missing persons. No Ralph Boner. So maybe so dumb.
Fake name.
But that's a witness protection name by someone who's very incompetent in witness protection administration by giving the name Ralph Boner. That's not going to draw attention to you at all.
No.
But so I don't know. I could see it going that way, or I could just maybe this is it for Quicksilver. Who knows? But I mean, again, like Doctor Strange is going to be about the multiverse. That would be the perfect place to explain that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it'd be hard to like fit that in without taking away from everything else going on in that movie, because I'm assuming there's going to be just a lot going on.
What I hope is my hope is that I don't hope anything. At this point, I've stopped hoping. But privately, I dream. In those dreams, Wanda finds Doctor Strange, who knows more about the lore of the Scarlet Witch, and he helps her unlock her powers to bring the boys back.
Right. Yeah, I'm assuming that will be a part of the next Doctor Strange. It's got to be, because of the stinger, which we did not talk about last week, about Wanda searching the Darkhold for answers, and you can hear her kids like shouting for help in the background. That's got to be a plot point going forward.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And this kind of is attached to like all of this talk about going into Doctor Strange is kind of attached to my one note about fan theories about Mephisto and a bigger evil. And the showrunner, who is Jack Schaefer is her name. She even said herself in a Vanity Fair interview that she didn't know, when asked about Mephisto, she had to ask other people who Mephisto was.
I was a little shocked to hear that.
Yeah, she didn't know completely. I don't doubt that she heard the name. I think maybe that she meant that it needed to be like the comic book lore had to be explained to her.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe it was taken out of context there.
Yeah, hopefully. I hope it was, because it was the context of the article, I believe, was like fan theories. Just the fan theories, and the context of the article was toxic masculinity in not being sort of a driving force of the plot of a show like WandaVision. Not allowing it to become that way. So like this is explaining that away, why we didn't see Mephisto, why we didn't see Doctor Strange. Toxic masculinity is not why we didn't see these. We didn't see these characters because they weren't necessary to Wanda's plot, is the point. And yes. I think I agree. You're right. We don't need too many times there have been superpowered women who seem to be, or are written to be, unable to harness their power. Their newly discovered power, and they need help. But instead, what you see is like in Elsa Twist, where they are searching, they find their power and they step into it, and they accept into it.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
And I love it. I didn't even realize it was happening until I was told it was. That's what happened, and I'm like, you know what? You're right.
I will say, I have a confession. During the last episode, I did actually make a mental note that she did not need help from anyone to control her powers. I was like, oh, that's refreshing. Like I actually did pick up on that like she never at any point lost control of her powers. I was like,
no. And they didn't even use the whole like the Vision is not a human man thing to like explain why he would help. He just stayed on the ground. He didn't need to help. If anything, he also didn't understand her powers, so he stood and watched it all happen. Because she's like, oh, he is a synthezoid that trusts his wife to take care of her own shit, and take care of it. She did.
Right.
So again, if we want to go, I don't know if we want to like explore fan theories, because I find some of them are like crazy.
Throw them out. Let's see. Give me what you want to talk about.
Mostly I have two. Why isn't this getting bigger? Now it's disappeared completely. Here we go. Okay, so I have two headings: Mephisto and a Bigger Evil, and Prophecy and the World Destroyer. So we'll start with Mephisto, since I've been saying his name from the beginning, but that's just like based on comic knowledge. I just assumed he would show up at some point. I wasn't sure how or why he would show up, but that with the introduction of Agatha would logically come the introduction of Mephisto.
Right.
It didn't happen. So there are some things that people pointed to that, 1, Senior Scratchy is Mephisto. 2, Evan Peters / Quicksilver is Mephisto. 3, Hayward is Mephisto. Now that the series is over, we know that none of those things were true. Because of this episode of Assembled. No, not this episode of Assembled. Actually, yes, sort of. We are told what happens to Darcy and Jimmy and Monica, but it's still not satisfying.
Yeah.
1, we find out Mephisto isn't existent in this world. Because of that Vanity Fair article, we now realize that Jack Schaefer wasn't aware of his existence at all in their storylines until much later. And that, in fact, because I know that you had mentioned that you were really unsatisfied with how they ended things with Jimmy, Darcy, and Monica.
Yeah,
They
it
were
was.
bigger. Yeah, they were bigger characters who deserve more. So I guess on Kevin Smith's Fat Man Beyond podcast, the director, the series director, Matt Shackman, is it Shakeman or Shackman?
I don't know.
Okay,
Let's go Shackman.
Okay, cool. So he revealed that Senior Scratchy, because we don't know how the Darkhold gets into anyone's possession,
right?
But we do know that Senior Scratchy protects it, and apparently there was a scene where Jimmy, Darcy, and Monica fight.
And Ralph.
And Ralph?
And Ralph.
Oh, yeah, it would have been Ralph, too. Where they fight Senior Scratchy, who becomes a gigantic demon.
Yes. Which, you know what? After they deleted, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense why there was just like this voidness of those characters, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, why would you scrap that?
Yeah, I don't like I know they said like, Senior Scratchy was going to transform like an American Werewolf in London into like this giant demon. What made them change their mind? I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if there was a creative reason, if it was just like flow, like, but I'm like, why would you get rid of that? Because I agree that really it just really didn't give us enough punctuation for like the send off for Darcy or Jimmy or Monica, those characters just were left hanging.
Yeah, and according, I don't know if it's that same interview, but also he's gone on record to say that there was at least an episode's worth of footage, so including that footage, that was completely scrapped from the series. Because if we notice, there's 9 episodes where a half season is usually 10.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, well, all right. If it didn't, I guess what they did was like they got rid of a whole episode and they redistributed it where redistributed and kept scenes where they belonged throughout other episodes, and that's why some are longer than others. And then they just got rid of other things for like because they just really didn't fit in, and then budget and time. Like they would have to do reshoots and whatever.
I imagine COVID screwed that up too a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's what kept Darcy away.
Oh,
and then
okay.
A lot of people were like, Doctor Strange was supposed to appear, but he was trapped in New Zealand. I was like, you know what? I don't even think Doctor Strange was supposed to be there at all.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I don't think it needed Doctor Strange. Like,
No.
It certainly didn't need him saving the day. I know that was something that Catherine Hahn talked about in an interview about how we expect men to come in, and sometimes either save the day or, be the one pulling the strings, i.e. being in charge. No part of me ever thought Doctor Strange needed to be there. No. The Mephisto one kind of, I'm like you, where I just kind of logically, I was like, well, that makes sense. But at the same time, too, like, we talked about this a lot, how the show was really about grief. And at the end of the day, would Mephisto's introduction have complicated that process? So maybe it's just not the right time to introduce him, and like just let Wanda sit with her grief and sit with Agatha, bringing her through that process, both literally and figuratively.
Yes. Yeah. So. You're right. The show is about Wanda. If anything, that it would have done, it would have confused the plot for me. It would have dragged it into that the territory that, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but just this unspoken action sci-fi genre that the MCU has kind of put itself into. When it starts to feel like that, I sort of lose interest. Part of my mind starts to take the plot less seriously, because those movies, in having rewatched them while I was watching WandaVision throughout the last few weeks, they're not that good. They're good. They're like really well produced, like high production value, but it's not like they're awesome.
A lot of them don't have that like subtext that Mike was talking about last week, where you need sci-fi is most effective when it's coupled to some sort of theme or some sort of human experience, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. Like, what are we going to gather from Iron Man? That being really rich is hard. Like, you know, it's not, it's not something that really translates well. It doesn't resonate with you. But WandaVision does, and we know that.
Yeah.
Talked about that, about grief, and same with X-Men. X-Men, you know, the allegory about discrimination. That's the one thing those movies did get right. So I agree with you. Like, I lose interest when there's not something weightier keeping it grounded to earth, you know, well, figuratively in that sense, you know, something weightier emotionally, keeping it grounded to earth.
At least Earth 616.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything, I mean, we could talk about the whole prophecy part too. I just thought this was cool, and I didn't realize it until like the different types of prophecy as you see it throughout pop culture.
Go for it. Let's talk about the prophecy.
Yeah, so it's less of a fan theory and more of a what people were saying about the whole Wanda will destroy the world if she becomes the Scarlet Witch thing. It gets said once it got introduced by Agatha, everyone's like, "Oh no, like she's a Scarlet Witch. She's been named. When you name a witch, they explode." And that's and then it turns out in the next episode, which I've put under the heading "the T" in bold. So this prophecy that Agatha introduces from the Darkhold falls victim to its own language, or the language of prophecy trope. She won't destroy the world if she becomes a Scarlet Witch. Rather, Wanda will become the Scarlet Witch when she destroys the world of Westview. Cute, right?
Cleverly Beverly. Very clever.
Right? I thought you would like it. So I reached back into my pop culture chest.
Ooh.
It's a triple D. And I pulled out two of the other examples from which we've seen this lately. The first one is Harry Potter. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches, born to those who have thrice defied him, and born as the 7th month dies. So everyone assumes it's Harry.
Mm-hmm.
But really it's Neville.
It's Neville Marie Longbottom.
Longbottom.
Yep.
The third. Like it's crazy, but it's the same thing where it's like prophet. I find it so awesome, this whole idea of a prophecy language, or the interpretation of prophecy. So another one where this one was really good, because I thought I cried when I first saw it on television. And I know you've been rewatching her, but it's Buffy season one.
Okay, good.
The final episode, right? The final episode? Prophecy
yes, of
Girl?
course, yeah.
Okay, so Giles says Buffy will face the Master and she will die.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because right after they cut to commercial, they come back and they're all in the library again. And they deliver, like, you know, typical Joss Whedon script where it's serious Giles peppered with funny punny Buffy,
right?
Where she ends it with like, I'm 16 but I don't want to die, I'm 16, like, and it's crazy. So you think the audience is set up for this big fight that, you know, Buffy, like, how is Buffy gonna get out of this? She can't, because it's it's been prophesied that she will prophesized. It's been written in the codex that she will die, right? So there's no way of getting around it.
Right.
Except she does die, just like humans can, she's drowned. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert. I don't even know at this point if the statute of limitations on spoilers can even be wrecked at this point.
It's
since
24 years old. Like, go for it.
Yeah, it's like, if you're listening to this podcast and hearing a Buffy spoiler and getting mad about it, I don't know how to help you.
Yeah. You got your priorities mixed up. Yeah.
Right. So she dies, but like any normal human death by drowning, there is the chance that you can be brought back to life by CPR.
I mean, just like that. Just, yeah, a little bit of compression, get the water out of the lungs, you're good. Yep.
Yeah, so Xander, is it Xander that saves her? Because Angel has no breath. Oh.
Yes, it's Xander. Yeah.
So again, another TV show, another pop culture reference to the whole like prophecy language thing, where it is set in stone.
Yeah.
What the prophecy says does happen, but in addition to, other things can happen too. So
the one thing I don't like about the Buffy one though is that it is a little sexist because a man again is saving a woman, but it was also 1997. We hope we've come farther. Buffy actually, without getting into too much of a tangent, the show is a little frustratingly sexist at times. It's again 1997, but Xander in particular is pretty problematic with a lot of his dialogue.
Right?
It bugs me. Yeah, it's very like. In one way, it's great because, you know, rewatching things in 2021, you're like, okay, we've come so far. We've had that conversation. But yeah, Xander's kind of a sexist punk a little bit. You know, it's a little microaggressions and things. And I'm like, and it's nothing against the actor. Only I doubt he wrote the lines. But I mean, it's just like, we enabled a generation of boys to think that was okay.
Yeah. And we enabled a generation of girls to think boys acting that way was cute.
Yeah. That's the thing. Charisma's all over him. Cordelia, but played by Charisma Carpenter. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, oh no, was she experiencing that abuse this early on? Like behind the scenes? That's crazy to think. And oh my God, like again, tangent. Beep beep. But like I can't.
Yeah.
I can't even. I in the grand tradition of uncoupling a creator from their property in order to just appreciate the property for what it is.
Yeah.
I've said my goodbyes. He's in the same same trash compactor that I stuffed J.K. Rowling in, so.
And Bryan Singer.
Oh, gross.
Who, like, I never really liked to begin with, but he made X-Men Days of Future Past, which was a really good movie, but I always, like, thought he was a gross-looking salamander of a human anyways. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. All these people that were like, wow, you're kind of a piece of shit, so.
And look at that. You are. Oh, speaking of pieces of shit, we're also not defending Jared Leto anymore.
What happened to Jer?
Jer Bear.
What did he do? I don't know this story.
Oh, we'll have to talk more to Joshua Mervell about this, but it was us talking about like the Snyder Cut and how he's gonna be in it as the Joker, and it's like we're sick of him.
Oh, but did he do anything offensive? Like.
Yes, I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm just gonna quickly tap that out.
Okay, we can talk about that later.
Los search engine, and we'll find it out. Okay.
That's a bummer because he seems like a pretty enlightened, progressive person. That I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but I don't know the severity of this situation yet, so I can't really speak on the matter.
Me neither. And I wonder if in my mind, it's just he just has like very poor rock star behavior. So. Oh, okay. There's a lot of weird ones. He embarrassed a concert goer who didn't know the words to one of his songs by pointing at her and giving her the finger. He allegedly asked a woman to blow him and his 17-year-old friend at the time, and his 17-year-old friend at the same time, then acted out the motion in front of her.
Ew.
He told a fan who had waited for his autograph after a concert to fuck off after the fan told him that it was a great show. Ooh, okay, so in his older years, after he matured into his full form, he sent his Suicide Squad co-stars used condoms and anal beads as an attempt to stay in character.
I did, you know what? I did hear about that. That's pretty unsavory. That's like infringing on somebody else's comfort zone a little too much.
Yeah, he said he was tricked into signing up for Suicide Squad, but only after the bad reviews started pouring in.
Yeah.
He refers to his fans as the echelon. Not.
Oh, no.
He prefers to call people who like him the echelon. That's disgusting.
That's douchey.
Echelon is a great word, but that's douchey.
Yeah, that's right. Very like enlightened California hipster douche that has, you know, gone on too many trips with ayahuasca to discover themselves.
Yeah, his eyeliner and like there's like 10 photos of him that go along with all of these little posts from Ranker, and it's like his eyeliner smoky eye situation rivals Tina Burner's. It's like, dear 1995, you left these two for us. Come Thanks. Get them, please.
Yeah, we don't want them. Take them back.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot with Tina's eyeliner. Anyways, prophecies. WandaVision.
Oh, yes. Okay, so those are all the prophecies. How do we unbutton the tangent button? Unbuzz?
Unbuzz.
Yeah,
no,
so
that's
I thought
though.
Yeah, I thought that the whole prophecy, the idea of prophecy language and prophecy interpretation as a vehicle for plot, the way that time travel is used, I thought that was really cool.
But did they ever explicitly maybe this is a silly question, but did they ever explicitly say that was like Wanda inadvertently fulfilled the prophecy by destroying her world? Did they say that? Or was it just we don't know yet?
No, all I know is that in the penultimate episode, Catherine Hahn's character Agatha says it's written in the Darkhold. What is the exact? She says she says that the Scarlet Witch has the power to the Scarlet Witch will destroy the world.
Okay, yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, she said, okay. You're I know what you are. You're a Scarlet Witch. I'm like, okay, I see that. I see how it can be interpreted as the Scarlet Witch will destroy the world, meaning, again, time is not played in that. Time is not explicit in that one tiny prophecy. It doesn't say when she'll be the Scarlet Witch or if she'll be the Scarlet Witch before she destroys the world. Just that the Scarlet Witch will destroy the world, and not like our Earth world. Yeah, the world of hexed Westview.
Or maybe it'll be a world in Doctor Strange's multiverse. Who knows?
That's what I actually at first I interpreted it as, because I was like, does this mean that she's like a harbinger of death when it comes to where she's going next?
Maybe she'll destroy the X-Men universe.
Oh, I felt that deep in my soul.
That would be such an F you to Fox. That would be kind of funny.
Whoops. There goes all of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Mansion? What mansion?
Yeah.
No one's there. Oh my.
Bye, Westchester.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Okay. So after that, was there anything else that you found interesting about this whole world that you wanted to talk about? Not necessarily as it pertains to the episode of Assembled.
I mean, it really is us unpacking theories and whatnot. And I mean, I guess the only one we kind of touched on earlier in the episode too is just we never really found out who Jimmy Woo was looking for. And I hope that leads to something, whether it's Ralph Bohner or not. That would be cool if, maybe Jimmy Woo was looking for Mr. Fantastic or a runaway X-Man or, that would be cool. But I do think that was a plot point that flew under the radar. So I would like to see some sort of resolution to that. But yeah, you definitely touched on the big ones, which was Mephisto, the prophecy one, which I didn't really consider, but yeah, that's a really big one too. I'm trying to think if there's any other theories that we've left out. I guess, is there anything we want to speculate about Agatha going forward?
So that's a good one. Because you kind of see her, now that we've had a little bit of time to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
What we did discuss is that we know that she has been magicked back into her Agnes form.
Yes.
But it's like, I know Wanda did it with her magic, but technically she destroys the hex.
Right.
So she's like, what I'm about to do can't be undone. It's like, but can't it? You're the Scarlet Witch.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to find like Agatha in the future, you could take you could take whatever it is that you're doing with her mind away. I mean, it looks like the Vision can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, Vision can snap people out of the Wanda's spell. So I think, I mean, I don't know, even just by the writing was fairly obvious that they're gonna need, like Catherine Hahn says, you're gonna need me. So I'm assuming some sort of return for Agatha at some point, or you're gonna need my help or something. She said something along those lines. So that to me foreshadows that she is coming back in some form. Thank God,
Yeah,
because she's great. But you're right though. Like the semantics behind it, they're gonna have to find a way around it. I think with Scarlet Witch, I think the rules are, because she's so omnipotent. I think they can get away with that and just say like, oh, she found out how to do it. Like it's willy nilly. So I think they'll undo it eventually. Whether who undoes it, I don't know. Whether it's gonna be Vision, whether it's gonna be Wanda, whether it's gonna be Doctor Strange. Maybe it'll be an alternate universe Wanda, in the multiverse. Someone will undo that and bring Agatha into the fold as hopefully an Avenger going forward, or an ally of the Avenger. That would be cool.
Yeah, because or
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, as we know, she's the caretaker of Reed Richards.
Mm-hmm.
Or excuse me, Franklin. And
yes, Franklin. Yeah.
He's gonna need to know how to one, to discover that he has universe bending power too, and how to control it. And if Agatha's not going to be Wanda's mentor as she is in the comics, then maybe she'll mentor a young Franklin Richards. I keep getting the name wrong. All these Anglo names. Yeah. So I think she'll just magic herself out of it. Because
Possibly.
her power seemed not matched, but like pretty damn potent. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. She has to come back in some form. She's dope.
Give me 1 sec. Yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay.
I have to let the cat out of my room.
Oh dear.
Yeah, she's causing a fuss. We've awoken the beast from her slumber with our excitable banter. She's like, look, I dealt with the loss of the show. Now you must too.
Yeah, you must deal with loss on me.
Yeah, honestly, what better way to deal with the loss of the show than by pouring 3 of the world's most attractive men into Disney Plus?
When they say you can't get over someone, you have to get under someone else, and that's what we're doing.
Yep, I'm just gonna make myself a big old Baron Zemo blanket.
Ooh.
Snuggle up. Sorry,
yeah.
There's something about Daniel Bruhl that is just so wonderful, and a large part of me is comforted by his talent. Just is an enormous talent.
Yeah, he's there is something about his air though that I agree with you. I'm like, ooh, like I don't know if it's the European or if it's just coupled with the talent, or like I feel like he's probably a really smart guy. Like there's a lot going on there that I'm like, I get it. I get the appeal.
It's like, what boxes does he check? Does he appear to 1, know how to cook? 2, brunette? 3, chilling but comforting accent? 4, 4. Male.
Talent.
Yeah.
Male. Yeah. Male.
Yeah. Yeah, I am a cursed cis straight woman. But
in rural Ontario.
In rural Ontario, right? You can't get more boring. I was going to say normal. I was like, no. Boring than that. But the only good way to temper that is by being able to gawk and talk about attractive men on television.
Of course.
The unattainables, if you will.
Yeah. And it's less invasive and creepy when they're that far out of our reach.
Yeah. I mean, the last time I talked about somebody in that way, we did a show called Ladies, They Talk About, and then ... And then we did Green Arrow. And then we shared it with him.
Oh, did you?
And then I had to see it. Well, I had to make eye contact with him on the red carpet.
No.
And I feel like he knew.
No way. When did you see him?
At the Canadian Screen Awards.
Really?
I was in the Shark Pit photographing the event for a local Canadian film website. It was specifically, it was called the Canadian Film Review. And there he was with his wife, Sarah, not looking me in the eyeballs. But I was full talking about him climbing that Jacob's ladder with his shirt off. Like we were just being like, the idea was that we were trying to talk about men the way we are talked about.
Yes. Yeah.
And we got a little disgusting. Like, it made me uncomfortable sometimes, and we had to stop recording, but we did it.
Yeah. Can't take it back now.
No. I remember my twin sister was there for the filming, and she said something like, just off camera while we weren't rolling, she's like, oh, he just is so attractive. I just want to don't you just want to make him a nutrient-rich breakfast?
Well, you gotta feed those muscles, right?
Right?
It's doing him a favor.
So many favors.
Yeah.
So many favors. Just using almond flour to make it keto, more protein, fiber. But anyway. Yeah, so I had to yell, because the way that you get their attention to get them to look at your lens is you yell their name as loud as possible. Right. So I'm sitting in the pit yelling, Steven! Steven!
Oh my god, that poor man.
Yeah. I got it though. It was good. And he just had this look on his face the whole time, like,
you're G.I. Jolie.
I watched, we tweeted him, we shared it. I sent it to the inbox of his official Facebook page. Gosh. He got it. Yeah. Not that he cared, but that was at the time when he was active on Facebook. He was going live every Thursday and Tuesday while they were filming Arrow. So
he was on top of his DMs for sure.
Oh, I'm not sorry that I did it. I am, however, regretful that we didn't preface it with our intentions.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, maybe he was bright enough to pick up on that though. Just he's like, well, men talk about women this way, Yeah. So maybe who knows how much he listened to it. Maybe he got so appalled he turned it off. I don't know.
Yeah. But I'll have the audience know that we are full on talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. No holds barred.
Okay. Are we gonna rank their hotness every episode? Is that what you want to do?
Sure. I'm not opposed to it. Also, we could do a butt tally. We do a butt tally on Spidercast. We could do a butt tally.
Or butt of the week.
Yeah, butt of the week.
Butt of the week.
Yeah. Oh, because some of those military combat uniforms are tight.
Some of those boys fill that out just right.
Yeah, they all have what I like to call hockey ass.
Yep.
Those very sporty round ones. I don't know how they get so round. I was like, are they also cyclists? I don't know. But yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't like anyway, if we're not talking about the looks. The looks. I don't actually know what the show is gonna be about. I know that they're setting up 3 villains. They're getting back to like the whole Marvel Avengers roots of it all, and they're giving us a storyline that's more action driven, and there's supposed to be 3 villains.
3.
Baron Zemo.
Flag Smashers.
What?
The Flag Smashers, right? That's the organization that's anti-patriotic.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I had forgotten their name up until now. Let's see. Oh, I just had this open. Wait, what is it?
Flag Smashers? Oh, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It's a mouthful. I mean,
it is a long name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, let's see. Alrighty, so. Apparently there was some kind of teaser that I missed. But that's okay because I don't like to be on social media. This is an anomaly, this whole podcast thing. And I'm honestly surprised that we agreed to a whole video one. Ooh, the lighting is so diffused and 40s of you.
I have windows everywhere in this new place. It's quite nice actually. My plants are loving it. They're finally coming back to life.
Ooh. Yeah. Did they not like the old place?
No, not the I called it the rat crap palace that we used to live in. It only had like a few windows. It was tough to grow 15 plants.
Oh shoot. Who's your favorite back there?
Probably the lavender tree. Although it struggles the most. You can see it in the silhouette of the window. It looks like it's branching out.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that a lavender?
It is. It's a lavender tree, but they're tough to maintain for whatever reason. They really need their light. I've found. But anyways, yeah. Did you find the name of the villains? Was that what you're looking for?
No. There was a photo, but so I don't know who the last one was. Oh, sorry. So the Flag Smashers, the ones that had the black masks, the handprints on them, they look like the Nas. No. They don't look like Nas. What are the soldiers, the monster soldiers in Lord of the Rings?
Oh, I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So they look like them, but with like a red Baron Zemo, and then there was a picture of Captain America, but young.
Like, not Chris Evans.
It was like a rendering, so it's like someone had leaked a rendering, but like I wonder if it's Hydra Captain America.
Like a fake Captain America? Like an imposter.
Yeah, because I don't know if you were familiar with what happened with the whole like Captain America thing, but like it caused Americans to abandon Cap because it turned out that they had revealed that Captain America, and they wanted to make this canon, or that it was canon, that Captain America this whole time was a Hydra soldier, an agent of Hydra.
Oh no, I did not know this. I'm not very up on my Captain America.
Oh, that's okay, because the whole world exploded when that happened.
Oh my goodness.
And then once they got their shit together, come on, girls.
Yeah.
They were like, well, maybe this one's a Skrull.
Oh, that would make sense.
Because there's Skrulls coming in, right?
Yes.
Into our world with Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau. That's fine. That's fine. I'm into it. But I don't know if that's how they're writing that. I hope that's how they're writing it. To be honest, at that point in comics is when I kind of checked out, because I was like, I had it, sis. And I was like...
Speaking of Skrull, I was thinking this the other day, because this is going to happen. Like, there's no way they're not going to do this because they can't resist it. At what point are they going to reveal an insane twist where a character we've known from like the beginning of the MCU has been a Skrull all along? Ooh. I feel like it's going to happen eventually. Like, someone has to. What's that?
Black Widow.
Oh, that would make sense.
It's fine. She's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. She's dead, but she's not dead because the one that died was a Skrull.
Yeah, that we might have cracked it. Yeah. But I like, it could be Black Widow. It could be Black Widow. Somebody though, I'm telling you, somebody that it's going to be a big twist that one of these Avengers will end up having been a Skrull the entire time. It has to happen.
Mm-hmm. Did you read the Secret War? Secret Identity?
I thought it was Invasion.
Secret Invasion, that's it. The one that just happened with the Skrulls. Did you read that?
I didn't read it, no.
Okay, because I'm trying to remember who turned out to be a Skrull.
But it's just such a fun storytelling mechanic that they're gonna do it. Like, any big studio would do that. It's just a great twist.
Oh yeah, I'm so ready for it. If they do, I'm ready for Skrulls.
Mm-hmm.
To shake
I'm ready for
things.
Skrulls, and I'm ready for Rogue.
Yeah.
To get her power from Captain Marvel, but Captain Marvel is Skrull originated, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm ready for that.
I can't remember what they were calling them in Captain Marvel.
Kree?
Because
No.
Kree.
Yeah,
the Kree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember reading during that same period about the Kree Skrull war, and I was like, "Oh, this is how they're going to bring them in." Mm-hmm. Because I believe that the friends that we see, the people that they were saving, they're Kree.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. But yeah, so, I guess that's it. I mean, thank you for chilling with us.
That was more of a chill sesh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It felt good to just chat out.
Just talk it out. Hopes and dreams. Evan Peters.
I was honestly surprised that we didn't do a little more Evan Peters diving, but
just you wait. I have a great idea for a cold open for our next podcast together.
Okay.
Evan's coming back in an unexpected way.
Oh, okay. Thank you for joining us. Even though we were a little less formal, we're never formal. Who am I kidding? Thank you for joining us on today's Full Volume podcast. I have been your host, G.I. Jolie.
And I'm Brent.
Yes. And you can write us at fullvolumepod@gmail.com. I haven't checked the Gmail, so if you have written us, I'm sorry. I should check it. I've been really busy at the store. And COVID is crazy. Anyway.
Yeah. And daylight savings happened.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Can we just not do it? Like, there are countries.
I hate it.
I hear North America is the only country that does it.
Thailand doesn't do it. My best friend lives in Thailand, and she's like, half of the year I'm 11 hours ahead of you guys. Half of the year I'm 12 hours ahead of you guys. And I was like, that's annoying.
Yeah. I mean, not for her, luckily. So obviously we know that, like, it doesn't actually affect anything. We should just...
It's for seasonal. I mean, yeah, it's for the fact that winter gives us less daylight. But I mean, I don't think like Sweden does it, and Sweden has to worry about this more than we do. Like, they're way up there.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But yeah, they don't have to worry about a lot of things, including COVID. Is it Sweden, or were they of the hive mind that they would just adopt herd immunity?
I think that was Switzerland, but I also remember being kind of surprised that Sweden wasn't more on top of it either. But like, they're also like such a small population. They're like 10 million people. Sweden's small.
Handleable. They're like less than Toronto.
They have dope healthcare. They have really good healthcare.
Yeah. Okay, so you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter under @ComicSyndicate, #FullVolumePod. You can catch up on this and all episodes of all of our other great podcasts and video content at www.comicbooksyndicate.com. Yeah. Until next.
Hope you guys enjoyed WandaVision.
Yeah. And we hope you enjoy Falcon and the Winter Soldier as much as we'll enjoy talking about it. So join us next week, same time, Sunday, sometime on Sunday. We'll upload it for your listening pleasure. And as always, just for now, keep it loud.
Keep it full volume.